Alrighty, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Friday, January 30th, and some way, somehow, the most Super Bowl winningest coach ever, Bill Belichick, got snubbed out of first ballot Hall of Fame status. The most obvious decision, easiest, get him in, lock him in, first ballot you ever seen get snubbed out of it. I don't know how the hell it happened. I know it's blowing up the NFL world right now. It should be a totally inexcusable thing. And anyone who voted against, let's get their asses revoked from voting in the Hall of Fame ever again, because this should have been the lock of locks. You can't even try to convince me in an argument otherwise. But that's what we got to lead off the show. Eman, what's going on? How we doing?
Hey, I'm about my money. I'm about my biz. You know it's me. When you hear that, there it is. Listen, Austin, they should throw away Canton. Just wipe fucking Canton off the map, because and my only thing, just get it away. Nobody else should be allowed. Any coach shouldn't be allowed in there. But my only thing that I hate about it is people won't step up and say, shit, it was me. I didn't vote for him. I don't like him. But, you know, everybody want to say, oh, I didn't know, or it wasn't me. It is that and the first. I'm not surprised because people don't like Bill. But if anybody, I'm going to tell y'all, I was telling my friend earlier, if anybody don't give a fuck, Bill Belichick does. He got a bad young thing. PYT, you heard Michael Jackson. He got his PYT. He doesn't care. He got a nice little young girl feeding him and doing that every night. He's rich as hell. He's won. I don't think Bill even cared. I don't think he was upset about it. I don't think he cares.
I mean, no, he would be the guy who's like, I don't care. It's whatever. But at the same point, like, you don't got to like Bill. It doesn't matter how you feel about the dude. If you are voting on a Hall of Fame and you can't put personal shit aside, I can't. If I'm looking at a ballot as a Hall of Fame voter, and the coach who's won the most Super Bowls in NFL history is sitting in front of me, and I pass him up for anything else, brother, I got to take a look in the mirror. I am the problem if I'm voting someone else on that ballot, or for some reason I don't instantly checkmark that name. I am the problem.
Can I ask you this, Austin? Mm-hmm. Is Tom Brady getting in on first ballot?
Yes.
I mean, but this is what I'm saying. Because do they hold? Because if you're holding Bill, which I don't care what nobody say. I've coached a long time in football. Every coach that wins is trying to find every advantage they can and not get caught. I don't want to keep hearing they cheated. Every coach try to find every advantage if you're a winning coach. But if Bill didn't get in on the first ballot, then Tom can't get in on the first ballot. Let's be clear.
If Bill or Tom don't get in first ballot, either or, then nobody should be getting in the first ballot.
I agree.
Who is more first ballot than if all we talk about is like, hey, you may or may not make the Hall of Fame because you have or haven't won Super Bowls, then how in the hell is the guy who's won the most Super Bowls not a first ballot? This is the weirdest thing I ever seen. And I don't even care to hear any reasoning about it or for it.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
Is he you think he's the greatest coach of all time? Not just football.
He's
maybe Phil Jackson.
Okay, so I don't know. None of us know, unless you're an insider. You don't know the ins and outs, the behind the scenes stuff, the X's and O's to it that they go behind the scenes, right? But if you're just a fan or anyone who's like us on the surface level, and you just look at it, you say he's a top 2-3 coach. It's hard to put him outside the top 2 ever, because the standard in the NFL is winning Super Bowls. That is how you are judged, is how many Super Bowls you won. And so we're talking about the winningest coach ever in terms of Super Bowls. There should be no debate who number 1 is by that standard. By that standard. Not the who's better at X's and O's, who's the better play designer, right? That stuff, who's the better culture. None of that matters. If the standard is in the NFL, your job is to win Super Bowls, and you are judged off of that, in that sense, there is one greatest coach ever, and it's Bill Belichick. If we're going off that standard, right? That's the standard. That's the standard in the NFL. So you take that away. I don't know the rest of the stuff to it, but if everyone's goal is win Super Bowls, then like, how are you saying he's anything besides 1 or 2 in NFL history? If that's the standard, right? I mean, and maybe you can like look at guys like Lombardi or the Bill Walsh, like the old
hell
cats.
no.
See, that's what I'm saying. And that's who the guys are going to look at, because from 2000 on, the last 25 seasons of the NFL, there is not a better coach. Andy Reid is the closest thing to it. And that's it. Yeah. There is no one even in sniffing pissing distance of Bill Belichick in that sense in 25 years. But then before that, you're like, it's a totally different game. It's way less competitive. You got far less athletes. It's a whole different sport, whole different world. And granted, that's what they're playing with. That's what they're dealing with. You can't like say like, oh, that NFL sucked compared to now, because it's a whole different world, whole different echelon of athletes in sport.
For sure.
So again, if the standard is Super Bowls, and that is the standard that every team is competing for every year, dating back to the earliest days, then Bill Belichick is 1 or 2, no matter how you slice it. It's that simple.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson would have been the first Bill Belichick if Jerry Jones didn't run him out. I mean, I don't see why Jimmy wouldn't have won 6, but that's if my mama had a stick, she'd be my daddy. So I don't know. But I mean, Jimmy Johnson was a hell of a coach. So I mean,
that's fair. Well, speaking of Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones and all things alike, we do have it's our first ever not repeat fan, but repeat team of a fan. We got another Dallas Cowboys fan coming on the show. This one, more Iman's speed. You know, it's going to be fun. We've been looking for someone who can match up with Iman's fandom as a Cowboys fan, who can go back. Man, the fact that you got a Cowboys hat close to you is concerning. I know you're still there's too many instances, Iman, where you're clinging onto that goddamn fan base. I can sniff it.
I just got the apparel, so I got to do something with
it. You're waiting for a reason to go back. You're waiting for Jerry Jones to be in a casket, and you're going to jump right back over to them. But we got another Cowboys fan coming on. We got the news desk coming on. The Browns continue to just keep browning, and when you think the Browns hit rock bottom, they just find a new low. I don't know. We can get into a bunch of other stuff for the news that's coming up. Today we're going to be getting into a little bit. We're going to continue our our little theme going of the biggest team needs for every team going forward. This week we're going to have the NFC South. Then we're going to kick it over to the team offensive X factors in the AFC South. Sorry. But we're going to keep our offensive X factors themes going, so be prepared for that if you're going to skip forward or anything. But for now, let's kick straight over. Let's bring on our next fan. Again, we got a Dallas Cowboys fan on. Nick, what's going on, my guy? How we doing?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having me. Big fan of the show. You talk about Jimmy Johnson. That's my guy. 44 years old, so I was a part of the glory years in the 90s for sure. Yeah, Jerry Jones, he and Jimmy get drunk one night at a convention, and the rest is history.
Before you know it, Jimmy's looking for a new job.
What's that?
I said, before you know it, Jimmy's looking for a new job.
Yeah, and I mean, Jerry goes ahead and sells his soul to the devil to get the Super Bowl 30 championship with Switzer, and, nowadays I think he's willing to take out a second line of credit on that son of a bitch, because he'll do anything, I would hope, at this point before he takes a dirt nap, to get one without a Jimmy Johnson created team. So that being said, I'm excited to share some intel on what I think needs to get done to get us to that, back to hell. Give me a conference championship game. Well, 30 years plus without it.
Itching. I mean,
I'm dying.
Ema, as someone who gave up on this fan base, to someone who's still on the bandwagon, it can't leave it. What do you got to say to him?
Nick, I'm 43, brother. So I'm telling you, as long as Jerry Jones and the Jones family is anything a part of the Dallas Cowboys, I just refuse to ever think it's coming back around. I'm being honest, because everybody say, oh, if Jerry passed, will be no. His son is a fucking idiot too, and he's gonna want to be in the spotlight just like his fucking daddy. So I don't think it'll never change, man. And I'm telling you, I'm just super disappointed because, like you said, I was around for the Super Bowls with Jimmy and Barry, and I even been around where I thought we was gonna win them with Tony and Dak, and just like, all right, enough's enough. I can't do it anymore. So I mean, listen.
Dude, I feel you. And, you're right. The Cowboys will be in the Jones family until you and I are long gone, my friend.
Yes.
They're like a bad penny. They're going, shit. There's just nothing we can do about it. As far as what I'm seeing at this stage, you got his comments about us being all in last year. Shit, what are all in? You didn't spend any free agent money. Waited the 5th round to draft running back. We got really lucky with the Javonte Williams signing. Really lucky. I like what I saw out of him. really hoping we can turn, that success into maybe 2-year, $13-14 million deal, depending on the market. A lot of moves that he claims he's willing to make. Trey Hendrickson, come on.
Didn't happen.
Get us another elite pass rusher. I mean, he's not on Parsons level, but he's elite. So, I mean, there's tools there. He claims he's willing to put the food on the plate for us. But,
Nick, I'm telling you.
He says that shit before.
More of us Dallas fans got to really boycott him, stop buying the tickets, stop buying the – because as long as he's going to be the most profitable – he doesn't really give a fuck about a winning team anymore, and he's just gonna keep, like that one girl you just kept telling, I'm gonna take you out this weekend. I'm gonna buy you a purse. You kept feeding it to her. She kept coming over.
You're exactly right. After the Parsons deal, I was actually texting with Austin from my truck, actually, and a long line of texts I was giving and receiving at that point. But when we traded Parsons to the Packers, I'm just like, shit, this year's really gonna be tough. But then. I'm down in the dumps. We make the Quinnen Williams trade. And it's like Godfather Part 3. Just when you think you're out, the sons of bitches bring you back in.
Right back in.
So I was back. And I really liked what he was able to do with the Quinnen Williams deal. I know he caught a lot of heat, between Parsons and that trade. But we were able to use some of the Parsons money to go to Ferguson, to go to Tyler Smith. A lot of, re-signing a lot of guys that were going to be coming off their rookie deals. So I think, shit, here I go again.
Oh, no, don't do it.
Talking yourself into it. Oh, don't tell me next year. Don't tell me next year's the year. Don't tell me.
Dude, Jerry's got, he beat stage 4 cancer. This man is a superhero. He will live forever. But if he doesn't, he has to get another ring. He has to.
It's not going to happen.
That's his line of thinking, and I sure wouldn't say no to that. But, you're talking to a guy here whose kid's named Landry. My son's name was Micah. That wasn't after Micah Parsons, of course, but it was certainly a good fit.
My dog's named Dakota. That's why I say my dog's named Dakota.
We had a Dakota too. Yeah, and I love Dak Prescott. I think the narrative around him, he catches a lot of hell because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Has he shit the bed at times? Absolutely. But this is a man who struggled through Mike freaking McCarthy for 4 or 5 years.
Oh, Nick, I'm a Mike fan. That's why I say, hold on, Mike. I'm a Mike fan. Three-time 12-win season with Dallas Cowboy Mike McCarthy.
And
Mike brought the best out of him, though. I think the guy that Shotty got now is the guy that Mike developed. Let's be clear. Mike developed this guy who Shotty got now.
Yeah, okay, and I can agree with that. But I will never take the X's and O's away from Mike McCarthy. But when it comes down to like the intangible team running, the game planning, time management, this guy is as inept and frustrating as it comes. There's no way around that. He's smart offensively, absolutely. You don't get the job in Green Bay. You don't get the job with Dallas and the job now in Pittsburgh, 3 iconic franchise without being able to put something together.
Yeah.
But the guy, it was hard. It was hard for a lot of years to watch that happen. And as far as Prescott's concerned, yeah, he developed him. So did Jason Garrett. But I think Shotty is in a situation right now with obviously a seasoned quarterback with a ton of skin on the walls. He's got many Pro Bowls, which really doesn't mount to a hill of beans these days anymore, but all pro seasons, he's played at an MVP caliber level. We haven't turned the page past the divisional round, and that sucks. But this is a guy who you look at the echelon of Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks, I put him at or at the top. You say number 2, and that's okay because you're looking at it's really 4 guys in the hierarchy. You got Aikman, you got Dak, you got Romo, you got Staubach.
Yep, yeah. That's it.
Staubach's obviously, he was in the 70s with those 2 Super Bowls, but this guy's going to have every record. He already is the all-time leader in passing yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romo's got the touchdown record, and Romo's a cool story too. Talking about a young gunslinger from Wisconsin, Eastern Illinois, played quarterback.
Burlington.
Sean Payton found him on Parcells' staff. He came in, and he did really well. But with Romo, he always had some shit going on. He's like going to Cabo in the
dating Jessica Simpson.
Exactly.
Jessica Simpson. It was like he became the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. He was just like, F it, I'm going to do this all in. And that cost us, man. That year that they were the number 1 seed.
Dez called it, though. Nick, Dez called it. Dez called the pass.
Seriously?
That's why I could never like Green Bay.
You go back to Mike McCarthy. That's the one smart thing that some bitch did was throw that red challenge flag on the Dez catch.
Well, all right. before we get too crazy.
Yeah, that's why I say we was about to go. Me and Nick, I might come back, Nick. You making me feel
that was
the
the best
good
team
juices.
we've had in a while. You had 2,000-yard runner DeMarco Murray.
Oh, DeMarco, you
we
almost
let
forget
him
about
go.
the Flash.
We let him go.
You let him go die somewhere else.
Yeah,
that was like the best Cowboys O-line, like maybe top 2-3 offensive line they ever had too. Because as soon as he left the great O-line, he was nothing. Gone, dead. His career was over. That his success was all Cowboys O-line, and him leaving showed it. But you already kind of talked about Schottenheimer. Like, what are your thoughts? I know a lot of people had a lot of things to say before the season started about Brian Schottenheimer, and now I think there's a different narrative, a different tone. So, like, where are you standing with Schottenheimer right now in that first season?
Yeah, dude, that summarizes it perfectly. My thoughts right there. Before, they're going through the interview process, and there's some really attractive names that they're throwing around, and they land on Shotty. You're like, what the hell? This is kind of a guy who's never been a head coach. He's been on offensive staffs, been an offensive coordinator several stops, like the Jets. Come on. He comes in, and you really had to dig into like the way he talks to the team, the way he talks in the locker room, the guy like McCarthy, he's learned to cut his teeth within that offensive scheme. He's developed his own offense in the problem. He can coach the hell out of the offense, but it's the way that this man conducts the team. You're talking about a guy who I think it was against the game after the Raiders, or maybe the Raiders, they benched George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb for the first series. He's holding people accountable. He's not a complete hard ass. He's still a team or player's coach, but he's not to be trifled with. He knows, and he has respect for that locker room. So that's really cool. And, he's got like some Tomlin, but he's also got some Belichick. If you want to talk hyperbole, upper echelon of coaches, he's got some of that line of thinking where he can intermingle those two mindsets. And I think that's really cool. Time will tell. I think he's going to have a super short leash. We talked about how old Jerry Jones is. He's going to want to move on if he can't see some tangible evidence that we can get to at least a conference championship game. But Shotty, I've bought into him because I've seen, like I said, interviews, locker room video, his press conferences, guy's on point with exactly how I like a coach to approach it. So I'm buying it. Like I said, the offense wasn't the problem. You're talking about a historically bad Cowboys defense. Jerry Jones hires Matt Eberflus. That was a Jerry Jones hire. That wasn't Brian Schottenheimer. Christian Parker comes in. That's a Brian Schottenheimer hire. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We're talking about a guy. Jerry loves hiring defensive coordinators who have been a head coach in other places. He's done it time and time again. Zimmer, Eberflus, Mike Nolan, nothing. All, without any solid results that they put on the table for us. So I was really excited to see them bring in Christian Parker. I know he was highly sought after. Green Bay, I think, brought him in or wanted to bring him in for an interview. I think they brought in Durante Jones.
He was at Green Bay a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and Jim Leonard we were looking at, but, they were going to have to wait on Denver to get eliminated, and Christian Parker seemed to be a hot name, so they jumped on that. And I really, really love what he did in Philly. Especially being their D-backs coach with Reed Blankenship returning an undrafted rookie free agent out of Middle Tennessee State to a team captain. And, he really, really plays at a high level. He's not all pro or anything like that, but very, very serviceable. So, dude's a free agent, by the way. Come down to Dallas some because we can use that.
Yeah.
Parker's going to need someone to step in and be his coach on the field, basically get people lined up. But I really like that hire, and I think that had Brian Schottenheimer's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah. I was just talking about it Tuesday. I knew him personally when he was at Norfolk State. He recruited a guy I was coaching when he was recruiting coordinator and defensive back at Norfolk State. He's rose fast. Super fast. And, you kind of jumped to us because we was asking what kind of the fan base is feeling about him. And I guess people are excited, but I tell people all the time, you cannot make chicken salad out of chicken shit. So he's better have a voice in there to be able to say, let's go get some people. Because, and I'm a big Al Harris guy. Like, I hate it when we just let him get away. So hopefully they give Christian the reins to bring some guys in that he can play and give him the free reins to do what he want to do. And just getting back to Shotty, I trash talked to him earlier. When the year started, before I switched over, I trash talked that hire. I'm like, oh, no, this is the reason I'm really leaving. But I will come back and say he did an awesome fucking job as a head coach this year. So I want to commend him. But, like, getting back to what we were saying with the Christian Parker, everybody's excited about him. But I got to see what he can do because, I don't know.
That was a we.
I'm telling you, Nick is
talking about the Cowboys again.
Nick is pulling me back in. I just got to say, his energy is pulling me back in. Man. God damn it! Let me put Nick. Let me put
don't put it on. Don't put the hat on. No,
put the hat on. Nick.
Take it off.
I gotta put it on.
Is your skin boiling a little bit? Your skin boiling with that hat on right now? Oh, yeah. Oh boy, I didn't think it'd be back. Oh man, that's brutal. Nick, you broke him. He's a broken man again.
Welcome back, my man. Welcome back.
Well, I mean, shit. All right, you two cowboy jabronis. Like, what's it gonna take for this team to get back to the Super Bowl? What has to happen? Is Jerry got to die and his ownership got to leave the Jones family, or how in the hell does this team ever get back to the Super Bowl so the Cowboys fans can stop saying this year's our year, like they've been saying for the last 30 straight years?
Yeah, man, and Emma kind of touched on it. Like, really let Christian Parker do his thing with that defense, because I touched on it earlier. Offense really isn't a problem. I mean, what is Tyler Guyton at left tackle? Who knows on that one quite yet? But I mean, we got two hellacious monsters at guard in Tyler Smith and Tyler Booker. You got the name Tyler and you're a first round pick. There's a pretty good shot you're on the good Dallas Cowboys offensive line, because there's three of the sons of bitches. But Lions shouldn't be a problem. I do think they'll address that right tackle. But as far as the defense is concerned, man, I think it's about bringing in a Blankenship. Looking at the free agent market for cornerbacks, it's really not that great. You got the kid from Tampa, Tariq Woolen out in Seattle. There's just a handful of guys there, not other real guys that are gonna, big heavy names like sometimes you see at free agent cornerback on a yearly basis. But the draft, there again, not a lot of depth at corner. I mean, there's some solid depth, but top end talent. Do we know what Mansour Delaney is? Really, the question on him is the arm length, whatever. I think he'll go in the top 10, top 15. Jermon McCoy, the injury thing, and, the kid from South Carolina. There's just going to be question marks there. I think having one or two good free agents, particularly at DB and or linebackers, are paramount. I'd re-sign Jadeveon Clowney, give him a 1 or 2 year deal. I know he's old. The motor is absolutely there. This guy's kicking ass, busting his chops. In the last game of the year against, I think it was Washington, finished with 2 sacks in a game that didn't matter. He's up there in age. He's not a young guy, but he still can, get you 8-9 sacks. It's perfectly fine. Donovan Ezeraku on the other side, 2nd round pick out of Boston College last year, shown some things to fit in the run. Probably better than Parsons ever did. He's never going to rush a passer like Parsons.
Hey. Parsons got better against the run in Green Bay. He got better.
Yeah, he did. I'll give you that. The guy's kind of like a DeMarcus Lawrence starter kit right now for us. Good against the run, solid again, gets you 9-10 sacks type of guy. Tank goes to Seattle and, really happy for him. He's going to the Super Bowl finally. He called that shit, too. He said he's leaving the Cowboys because he wanted to go to the Super Bowl.
He want to go.
But, I think draft-wise, you really got to look at that. Caleb Downs, if he's there at 12, run.
Easy. Yeah.
You run to make that pick.
Sprint the ticket up to the commissioner.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm edge-wise, I really like Ruben Bain. He's not going to be there.
No.
That guy's upside is off the charts.
What pick do y'all got? What pick does the Cowboys got?
12. Yeah, 12.
Oh, yeah. So you're probably sitting, if you're lucky, David Bailey is still there.
David Bailey, yeah.
If you're lucky, he's still there.
Yeah, that's the other edge that I would consider there at 12. I don't think he's going to be there either. I think that's a top 10 pick, too. Yeah. I think Caleb Downs will be gone. Sonny Styles.
I think Caleb Downs will be there. I don't think teams want to spend a top 10 pick on a safety.
On a safety, right. And the last time Dallas did it was Roy Williams. That was a pretty solid pick for us. But that draft, the Roy Williams draft, when we took him out of Oklahoma, I think it was 7 overall, 7 or 8. Ed Reed went at 24 to Baltimore.
Exactly. Listen, don't get me to talking about picks that Greg Ellis is the one that's sitting we missed out on fucking Randy Moss for Greg Ellis. So I'm telling you, Greg, exactly. UNC. I was like, what the fuck? But while we're on things, Dallas is a popular team, and just talking about players. Who's a player on the Cowboys that kind of nobody knows about, but it's probably gonna be like a superstar? I look at Overshawn myself. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be good. But who do you think is somebody that we all should be kind of looking for this year to kind of just blow up?
You're exactly right. DeMarvion Overshawn is I'm I'm a Longhorn fan too, so obviously followed his career when we recruited him, safety turned linebacker. I think he'll do well in the Parker defense. I mean, if they're able to get Sonny Styles, that kind of gives you a similar player with even higher upside. But put those two at linebacker, that's a problem for people. I think that could be really good. Like you said, a lot of people probably know about Dio, but I'm interested to see what Siobhan Revel gives them with some tutelage that Christian Parker.
How much did he play this? How much did Revel play? Because he got drafted.
He played 4 or 5 games, and that's another 3rd-round pick. Overshown was a 3rd-round pick, but Revel
with first-round talent. First-round talent.
Tears up his knee. You're going to have a basic pseudo redshirt year, your rookie year out of East Carolina. He comes in, and I think he started, not just played, but started 4 or 5 games at the end. Had his lumps, but you could see the rookie talent is there. And a guy like Christian Parker, who you're talking about, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, the dude works wonders with young DBs. Bring on Revel, give him some time. He's got size. He's got talent. I'm really excited to see what he can do. We do still need another corner because I think Bland's better at the slot. But, I'd say Siobhan Revel for sure as a guy not a lot of people know about that could take that next step with the proper coaching that you ain't getting from Matt Eberflus.
For sure.
No, I love the Revel drop because I remember the last draft cycle, everyone's talking about Siobhan Revel as like a top 25 type of pick, but the injuries, it's like we don't know. He's probably going to slide because of the injuries and the lack of game tape, but what we have seen on tape is like, holy shit, this guy is really good, super strong in man coverage. Like, there's no such thing as just a pure man corner with how much zone dominates the NFL now. You have to be a good zone corner, but he's got all the instincts and the route mirroring abilities out of anyone to be super successful. So I think that's awesome. I loved Overshawn coming out of the draft. I do all my mock drafts every year. Done a couple with Nick, whooped his ass and everyone else's ass in the mock drafts. But I've always been a huge Overshawn. When he went to Dallas, he was one of those guys. I hated to see him go to Dallas because I hate the Cowboys, so I'm a Packers fan. Overshawn has got the dog in him, but got a lot of leg injuries. Well, he's got the torn MCL, ACL, like all of it.
You're talking about 2 third-round picks with that. I mean, there's knee concerns with both of them. And, Dio comes back after. I think he played the full second half of the season. So there's a lot of rust these guys are shaking off. I think Dio for sure is going to take the next step next year. It remains to be seen with Revel. But like you said, man, the intangibles, the size, the strength, everything's there. It's the technique shit that you could see him struggle with. But that's all coachable. Those are things that he can fix. So
if
excited
only,
about him. And then, like I said, Donovan Ezeroku, I think he's going to be a really solid player for a long time.
Yeah, that was another guy. I know a lot of teams, a lot of fans wanted Ezeroku on like their roster as a 2nd-round pick coming out of Boston College. And
talk about mocks. Some had him late first. So I mean, for us to get him in the second was a nice little steal.
I know the Packers wanted him, right? The Jeff Hafley connection with him coming out of Boston College and Jeff Hafley at the time in Green Bay. He was mocked to the Packers heavy in the 2nd round. He was one of those guys too. Like it was like him or Nick Skorton coming out. I was like, oh, you get one of those two. You got a damn good football player on your team. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, hey, if only Leighton Vander Esch ever panned out. Man, thick as neck in the league, but the back couldn't hold it.
Yeah, dude, his neck guard just a problem, man.
Yeah. It's a sick look. It's a great look. Great look.
You know how I feel about LVE, man. He was better than I thought he'd be, but still.
Yeah, I thought it was a wasted draft pick. I thought it was a wasted draft pick because as big as he was, he should have punished people. But I also tell people he didn't play 11 on 11 in high school, so he just didn't have a lot of time being a dominant person. But he was kind of overpicked. But then when he started the ball, I'm like, all right, he's pretty good. But yeah, he didn't last as long as he should have.
No, he couldn't stay healthy. All right. Nick, before we get into our little keep 3, cut 3 game, you kind of already touched on it, but like, what's the plan for the Cowboys this offseason? What do they got to address? Who do they got to cut? Who do they got to trade? Assuming Jerry Jones is not leaving anytime soon, and that's obviously one of the bigger problems that needs to get resolved. But what else besides Jerry?
Let's stick to things that are within the realm of that could actually take place. For the first time in a while, we're not horribly strapped cap wise. That played into the Parsons thing because that's a lot of money in Dak, CD, and Parsons should they have done that. But I think you got to cut Terrence Steele at right tackle. That's a waste. I think that saves him $8.
Yeah, he's
$8 million. He is horrible. he's like my least favorite player on the team. So sorry to go off on him, but you let Donovan Wilson go. He's a free agent. That'll save you some money. You could cut Malik Hooker, save about 5 or 6. Then you're completely starting over at safety. But I mean, seriously, if you watch any Cowboys and seen their lack of over the top coverage, I don't think it can get any worse. So you let some of those pieces go. They already made the right decision with Trayvon Diggs, obviously earlier than I thought they would have, but they had to get rid of that.
His fall off without Al Harris.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. He went from all pro. I think he had like 10 picks.
Insane.
Getting benched.
And then something went wrong with him mentally or something. I don't know. But anyways, we need to eliminate players that are making a lot of money like that have been with the Cowboys for a while that Jerry loves to keep around. That's what he does. He re-signs his guys, but we got to eliminate some of that shit. Let Parker go wild with his guys, because obviously it worked. It worked in Philly. So we'll see what they want to do there. Like I said, the draft is paramount. You got 2 first-round picks. You don't have a second and third, though. Okay, so if we're at 20, the pick we got from Green Bay, and you're not, absolutely in love with them, you got to trade back. You got to trade back and recoup at least one of those picks, see what happens, because they traded the extra first next year in that Quinnen Williams deal. So that pick 20 is huge for us to hit on that one way or the other. It's trade back. I love Anthony Hill out of Texas. That's not just a Longhorn talking. That's
a nice
that linebacker right there was a 5-star cut him out of high school. Kick ever love an ass at Texas. He can, like Sonny Styles, he can cover, your tight end down the seam. He can even get after the quarterback. He had 5 or 6 sacks, I think, his junior year last year. So I think there's tremendous value there in the second round, early second round, maybe. We'll see. I think he's moving up some boards, but I think it starts with eliminating some of that bullshit like Donovan Wilson and Terrence Steele and kind of go from there.
Yeah, Anthony Hill is violent against the run. The guy's got all the athletic traits you can want. He's good against a pass rush. He's got good coverage abilities. There's a lot of fun with Anthony Hill, and I think he had some injuries with Texas, right? Was he hurt a little bit?
So he missed. Yeah, I think not huge like knee or debilitative injuries. It was like a wrist, something here and there, maybe turn an ankle. He did miss some time, but when he's on the field, which was, I don't think injuries are going to hold anyone back from drafting him. I've seen some late first. I think that's a little overzealous. I think he's an early middle second round. But there's a lot of cool linebackers in this draft, man. Like Sonny Styles,
Rodriguez been balling. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the Senior Bowl. He's been down there getting busy, getting heavy turnovers. That's somebody that Dallas need who can get turnovers, cause turnovers, just super active. I've been following that Senior Bowl, just looking at trying to see who's some under the radar people, and he's been down there balling.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that great call there, dude. That would be a rock solid.
Guy should have been in the Heisman. Should have been in the Heisman candidacy this year, Jake Rodriguez.
He's got swag for days, that dude. So
looks good on
bring
the
him
field
on the
too.
Cowboys. You can market the hell out of a dude like that. Now you're speaking Jerry Jones language.
And Anthony Hill's a young 21. Like the dude's young. He's relentless. Like I said, good run defense. Good. He's got after in the sacks, and he's got 17 sacks his last 3 seasons. He barely misses tackles. There's so much upside. You get a little Texas Longhorn linebacker crew between Overshawn and Anthony Hill. That should be lethal. Dude,
I'm already buying that jersey.
No, it's a quick quick buy. I agree.
My last name's Hill. I have his Longhorns jersey. Let's get him on the Cowboys.
Easy. Easy for you. And I agree. I think there's so much more value to be had trading back from 20. You already got the other pick. Use it on whatever you need. Trade one of them to get 2 second-rounders if you can. Try to do something like that, and or a second and a third, whatever it takes, because this is one of those drafts, and I've seen this from across the internet. It's a good year to not have a first-round draft pick type of sentiment with this first-round class. And that goes for cornerback, it goes for DT, it goes for middle linebacker or off-ball linebacker. It even goes for edge. I think there's some damn good edge rushers who aren't going to go in the first round. Now, you're going to get the cream of the crop like David Bailey and Bain. And those, I'm not big on TJ Parker. I having been a Packers fan, I'm anti-first-round edge rushers who don't have college production. Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness have not exactly worked out in Green Bay. So I am all the way the F off college pass rushers with lacking production. And those Clemson D-lines are always stacked. And their D tackle is going to go top 13 in the class. So I agree. Like, and you need a safety, and I love the sentiment. You
But
let Hooker go and go get Caleb Downs to replace Hooker.
But that's what I'm saying, Austin. They should really package 20 and 12 to make sure they can get Caleb Downs. And he reminds me more of an Earl Thomas-ish to me. He's not Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, but he's kind of Earl Thomas. But he is a guy that can do everything. He can do everything on the field. So I figure and I think he'll be there at 12. But if you think he's not, you got to make some moves. I think he's going to be there at 12.
You don't trade both first rounders to move up for a safety. You don't do that.
No.
You give him 12.
If he's there at 12, you do jumping jacks and don't take the full clock.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think you could possibly, in this day and age where football's at, where NFL's at, you cannot trade up for a safety, and you do not give up assets to trade up for, unless you're giving up your first round pick 12, and a rotational player type of guy, sure, but that's it.
Austin, we talk about it every week. You see what number 3 is doing for Seattle. You see when Kyle Hamilton went out for my Baltimore Ravens.
Didn't even go top 20 though.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. They're a life changer on defense when you have one. When you have one that can get in the box, make tackles, can defend, can rush. It changes a lot of what you can do. And I'm telling you, Christian Parker would need somebody like that who's a game changer. And sometimes you just got to roll the dice and go get them. I mean, just be honest.
I agree. No, I think Christian Parker's going to be great for any DB if they draft DB. I love them going to get what's his name out of LSU again? I always forget how to say his last name.
Monsieur Delaney.
Yeah, Delaney. If I can just like see that name in a Cowboys jersey, and like I'm already envisioning,
I'm fine with that at 12.
The Tennessee guy who missed a lot of time, but they're saying is the best corner in this draft.
No.
All right, McCoy. He's
Gerard
like
McCoy or
top
whatever.
8, top 7 talent. He didn't play all last year though, dude. So there's going to be some obvious rest.
He's gonna be one of those guys. You know who he reminds me of? Different position. He reminds me of Jeffrey Simmons. He's going to drop 15 spots, 20 spots than he should go, and he's going to become an all-pro in 2-3 seasons. And you're going to be like, you're going to get insane value out of him because he dropped, because of the injuries, and in 2 years, you're going to reap the benefits of a guy who should have gone top 10. He would have probably gone top 7 if he played this season. And because he didn't, he's going to go outside the top 15, and someone's going to get an all-pro outside the top 15.
He would never be an all-pro, Austin. I'm saying it here.
Okay.
What's today's date? 5-6 years from now.
Okay.
He's overrated. No.
All right.
No.
Well, either way, the Dallas Cowboys right now, old-ass owner, willing to do anything, hopefully, to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott's 32 years old. He's got 10 years in. Like, we can't do this 2 or 3 years wait bullshit. We have to hit it 12 with the plug-and-play starter.
For sure.
Kick ass from day one. I'm not waiting on shit. Yeah. That's why if I had to pick the corner, I'd go with the kid out of LSU. Caleb Downs, if you want to get nuts and trade up for Bain. But other than that,
there you go.
I love Sonny Styles, though. Love Sonny Styles.
Dog. Yeah, that's another name I could see in a Cowboys jersey. But you mentioned Dak, so let's get into it. To wrap this up, our game we do with every fan that comes on. We're going to play a little bit of Keep 3, Cut 3 Dallas Cowboys edition right now, all right? We're going to start at quarterback. You only get to pick one player at each position, so you better damn choose wisely. And I know the Cowboys got some dogs at quarterback, running back, receiver that you got to pick from. So we're going to start at quarterback, and I'm going to give you your first name, Troy Aikman.
And I have to cut him?
Or keep him, whatever you just say. You pick. You just know if you cut him, you can't keep another quarterback.
Oh. Cut.
Oh, shit.
Now explain. Because Iman said this in the past. If it wasn't for Emmett, if it wasn't for that defense, it wasn't for the line, then does Aikman got those Super Bowls, or if it wasn't for Irvin too?
Okay. Yes. And all right. Yeah. Emmett, the line. Emmitt Smith, I mean, I'll die on the hill for this kid. Like that guy, I think he's the best of all time for longevity and a number of other reasons. Obviously, the stats are there. And, people talk about the monster offensive line, but Emmett, made that line just as good as they made him. So Aikman, his stats, you look at it, they're not great. They didn't ask him to throw the ball a ton. No. But what Aikman did bring was, like, he wrote the book on how to lead that team. And he had to lead it through some bullshit, dude. Because back then the Cowboys were from, the coaching staff, the owners box, all this shit. It was a mess.
Train
and he had
wreck.
to navigate that. So much love to him. But yeah, as far as there's other quarterbacks I'd rank probably 2 quarterbacks I'd rank higher than him and Dak and Romo, but it's a tough call, dude. I'd have to cut
Aikman. Oh, Super Bowl winner. All right. Okay. Let's
got 3 rings. He's happy. He's going to be okay if I cut him on this podcast.
Well, he's doing all right. All right. We'll kick it over to running back. And I have this feeling that Zeke's going to be the odd man out between Emmitt Smith and Tony Dorsett. So why don't we start with Tony Dorsett, keeping or cutting him?
Tony D's awesome. I got his autograph downstairs, man. Love that thing. But yeah, and there was a time when he was a standard of the most successful collegiate running back of all time. He's got Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys. At the time, like, you couldn't touch him. Dude has a 99-yard touchdown run under his belt. The guy was just a total package when there wasn't a lot of, running backs like him that blended that speed and stuff, like, catching ability. There's a lot of bruisers back in those days, and Tony D just kind of came in with the heightened level of athleticism. But I mean, if you're talking, yeah, I probably have to cut. I'm going to cut that one.
I mean, I can't blame you with Emmitt Smith on the. I mean, come on,
right, dude. This is no brainer. I hate cutting.
Are you going to keep? So, all right, well, let's go into. Are you going to keep Emmitt Smith as your running back?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I would cut Tony D for Zeke, though. I mean, and Zeke didn't have the longevity, but those 3 years, I mean, Zeke I got 2 Zeke jerseys still. I'm a big Zeke fan. Like,
I am too.
I just those 3 years, I mean, he was the cream of the crop. I mean, just being honest. If he didn't go to Cabo trying to chase the money, he messed it up. He should have just kept working out. But, I mean, them 3 years, and granted, I love Tony D too, because when I played Reckley, you either wanted an Eric Dickerson face mask or a Tony D face mask. So, yeah, but
did Tony D have the bar in the middle? Was that him?
Nah, he had
Who was that? Earl Campbell, didn't he? Earl Campbell had the bar.
Earl Campbell had the bar.
Yeah,
there was another. I thought there was
Thurman Thomas.
Thurman. I'm thinking of Thurman.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of Thurman.
Yeah, but we all wanted the Tony D or the Eric Dickerson face mask. So yeah.
Yeah, Tony D had the Aaron Rodgers face mask. That's what he had. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Let's kick it over to receiver, your first receiver. And this one can go deep, especially now you throw Pickens. Now you might got to throw Pickens into the mix too, because you're talking about Irvin, Dez, CD. So
that's hard.
Why don't we just start with Dez Bryant? I think there's more longevity than CD so far, and CD's coming off a bad year for CD standards. So why don't we start with Dez Bryant?
All right. Now, Dez, we talked about the catch. We won't do it again.
It was a no catch.
His career could have ended up even better than what it was.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about a Hall of Fame guy if 1 or 2 things went differently. But either way, he owns the receiving touchdowns record for the Cowboys. So, and he did it, I think, 7 or 8 years. I'm still going to cut him because
me too.
I mean, I love Dez, and you talk about a guy that the dude was from Texas. He's from East Texas, Lufkin. He had the X, man. He was flashy, dude. He gave us everything that Jerry's going to love in a receiver. He got into shit with Romo, but those two are buddies.
I didn't like that part though. He was a red zone. I mean, he was a red zone guy. Like, he was unstoppable.
Mitts. You're talking about banana hand snatching the ball.
Yeah,
if he's manned up in the end zone,
it's over. It's over. Just throw it up. Just throw it his way.
Yeah,
I'm with you though. I would have cut him too.
It's one of those weird ones because I remember when Dez was getting drafted, it was weird because of how bad I wanted him on. He was one of those guys, like, if he's not a Packer, I cannot live with him on a team that I hate. So I have very vivid memory for some reason of where I was the exact moment that Dez Bryant got drafted. I was letting the dog out the house and I was pissed. Almost locked the door. I don't want to see the dog again. This is all over. Fuck everything. Dez Bryant's a Cowboy. It was one of those picks. He's so good. I'm surprised you cut him, but I understand why you cut him. All right, let's kick it back over to the quarterback then. And let's just even leave Staubach out of it. Too old, probably your guy that you auto keep anyway. So it's like, at this point, it's probably down to, I don't know, Tony Romo or Dak Prescott. So why don't we just go with Dak? Would you keep or cut Dak Prescott?
I'm keeping him. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, like I said, there's a
with no Super Bowls and
no Super Bowls, not even past the divisional round, my friend.
Oh,
there's a narrative about him that I swear to God, if he threw 4 picks like Josh Allen did, I can't remember the game that they
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, was it Texans that they were playing that they lost to? Yeah. If Dak does that, the man is crucified. He's not making it
cut
to the truck after the game. Dude,
probably getting
the media
jumped.
is going to destroy him. All the man does is put up huge stats. That doesn't mean that he's the best quarterback of time. Stats are, only a part of it. And what I love about Dak is what he brings as far as a leader is concerned, a teammate, the intangible shit. And I loved it coming out of Mississippi State when we took him in the 4th round. When Romo got hurt, broke his back or collarbone, whatever, for like the 3rd or 4th time, and he was coming in with Jason Garrett on that team. I texted my brother and I said, well, I guess Zeke has to share the offensive rookie of the year with Dak because this is about to go down. I mean, I didn't miss a beat. I knew this guy. I just had a feeling about him because he's got that it factor. And at quarterback, if you can tie that in, athletically, he's not the best. The dude's a tank. He can play linebacker if you wanted him to. But, as far as just leading a team and a guy that I know isn't going to take it lightly, I'd line him up with anyone. He does enough with his arm. The dude's smart. He's audible in left and right. Coaches love to coach a guy like that. It's a goddamn shame he's not been to a conference championship game, because I think if he were to at least make a Super Bowl, this isn't even a discussion. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot to love about Aikman, the 3 rings. Romo, he's got the stats. So does Dak, even more so. And by the time he's done, he'll own every single one of them for the Cowboys. But, he is missing that overall success. And there's, that's not just because of him. You're talking about.
He gets a lot of flack, though. You remember that year he outdoed Aaron Rodgers, but we let Aaron Rodgers, with a couple seconds, throw a 30-yard comeback to
Jared Cook. Yes, that's the type of
tight
shit I'm talking about.
So
how beautiful was that
he's
pass?
Had some. I mean, one of the greatest passes I've ever seen in my life. But Dak's had some.
There's always some shit going on with Dak.
I'm telling you, he's outplayed some people, but our defense kind of let him down. But that was clearly, and I'm talking about. I was in the house saying, "All right, this is the year we bought." I was so excited. As soon as Aaron Rodgers let that ball go, and Jared Cook's dive down and catch it on the edge, I said, I'm not lying. I didn't talk to people for 3 weeks. I swear to God, I didn't talk to anybody for 3 weeks. That hurt my heart.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's a tough. That was a tough one. And the Cowboys have wrote the book on how to lose games like that. I swear to God.
Aaron Rodgers owns y'all in y'all's joint. That's the
big time, dude.
That throw. Oh,
we pay rent in his stadium, man. Because
that's another one of those. Yeah, you and the Bears both. This is one of those things where it was another player. You remember exactly where you were in the moment going on when he made that throw. And Jared Cook, bro, when the Packers did not bring back Jared Cook, and Jared Cook wrote a whole article thing about how much Green Bay, the team, the city, means to him, and then Green Bay proceeded to let his ass walk. Oh my God, it was hell on this fan base. But I can't blame you for Dak, right? For all the playoff faults and not winning, right? We're talking about a guy who was a 98.3 passer rating in his Cowboys career, 36,000 passing yards, 243 touchdowns, 92 picks in 139 games. Pristine stats. Now, on the other side of that coin is he's seen more of his head coaches get fired than has playoff wins. So it's this Dak is in this weird purgatory. And now Drake May's got more career playoff wins than him. And this is another reason why playoffs or wins aren't a quarterback stat, right? Even though Dak is responsible, as Iman graciously pointed out recently, the other episode, that Dak is responsible for another loss. But I mean, the guy finished the season with 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, has 4 seasons with 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns since 2019, which is more than any other quarterback in the NFL. The guy is getting older and coming to the end of it, has no playoff success to show for it. But when he's healthy for a full regular season, he's always competing for an MVP. Seems always.
There's a cool if you look at the stats on fourth quarter comeback wins, he and Romo did that shit like clockwork. Now, were we in a bad situation because of some stupid shit they probably did earlier in the game? More than likely. But these men were able to lead their teams back in some cool ways, and that speaks to the intangible leadership that both Dak and Romo have. But I'll have to give it to Dak.
All right. Well, what about receiver then? Last one. We're going to give you Michael Irvin as your receiver to keep a cut next.
No brainer keep.
Okay. That was easy. Why?
Why? Because
Have you ever watched him?
He was Dez in the 8s before Dez was,
yes,
man.
sir. The playmaker, baby.
Playmaker, man. That is a Jerry Jones guy. And yes, he ended up being a big problem. I don't want to point fingers, but that son of a bitch ended up being a problem, with the whole, what created the whole Cowboys downfall scandal, you name it. He was all over it. But that man, when he was on the field, Aikman has gone on record saying that you could see how either A, hungover, or B, still intoxicated Irvin was on that field. But he is busting his ass on every rep, every sprint, puking on the field. Yes, it's of his own doing, but he is still out there kicking ass and taking names in practice. And then he goes up in the games. And, I'm glad he ended up making it to the Hall of Fame. A lot of people held, some of his bullshit against him not to put him in there earlier, and that's okay. I get it. He was an asshole for parts of the time, and he's very, very loud and eccentric, but that's just how receivers ended up becoming. And he was one of those, first ones that kind of wrote the book on how to do it. But as far as physical, athletic, he's out of the U. He's one of the first guys that, he was with Jimmy at the U. He ended up playing for Jimmy at the Cowboys. He's Mr. Cowboys when it comes to receivers. And, you talk about the number 88, Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, now CeeDee Lamb. Drew Pearson was the man. He ended up being a Hall of Famer too, but Michael Irvin made it cool to be a receiver for the Cowboys and wear number 88.
For sure.
I mean, I can't blame you. We're talking about a guy who played in the running back era of football where like teams were running the shit out of the ball the most. And Michael Irvin sitting here as besides CD, he's the only other Cowboy with 5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards receiving. But the thing with Michael Irvin did it in a NFL where they were more running forward.
Handed the image.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Aikman, man. He's not going to we just ran the shit out of the ball and just like folks knew we were going to do it. Larry Allen would tell people across from him, "It's coming here." Like, choo choo, motherfucker, get out the way because
I'm coming at you,
what we did.
No, I love it. I can't blame you. And now Michael Irvin on the belt's ass to it for the rest of his life with the U now. But he's another guy. That was a guy. He was not happy about the Schottenheimer hire when that happened.
Not at all.
And
he's going to let you know about it. But
he did. I mean, he's one of the first 5 guys in NFL history to have 10 catches and 150 yards in a conference championship game. Again, in a league where it was more run game dominated. So you imagine Michael Irvin in modern NFL, what the number he's probably putting up now, what he was doing back in the 90s. Come on. I can't. Yeah.
But he is one guy that I always imagine how good he either would have been or how good we would have been as a team if he wasn't the ringleader of coke sniffing, fucking girls, White House, just a whole bunch of bullshit.
White House,
and when I was younger, I didn't really know. We would hear stories from Virginia, but now that I'm older to realize he was doing all of that, I'm like, God damn, we might would have won 7 Super Bowls if y'all just would have done the right thing.
That team just got so good so quick. They were all so young, and they were an absolute team full of superstars, and they were marketed that way. The road was handed to them. And it went to shit just as quick, dude. And it's a damn shame because you're absolutely right. I heard you talking about what Jimmy could have done, as pertains to comparison to Bill Belichick. He absolutely could have put up numbers like that and gotten several more rings because no one going to stop that team. Jerry was going to spend the money and whatnot. So it's a shame they went down that path. And there's a lot of stories I tell my son about what it was like to be a fan when Jimmy freaking Johnson.
Come on, man. How about them Cowboys?
Let go, retired, whatever you want to call it. They just went their separate ways. It's just damn shame.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nick, I appreciate you making the time to come on and talk Cowboys. We went way over, but we got way into it. So I appreciate you doing that with us.
Yeah.
You're good. You pulled me in.
You went with a cowboy hat back on, so you did what you had to do. You pulled a lost soul back into a lost franchise. So good for you.
Thanks for having me, you guys. This was fun.
Absolutely. Yes, Thanks for coming on, Nick. We'll see you, and I guess go Pack.
America's team, baby. This is the year.
Oh, sure. All right, we'll see you.
See ya.
All right, we ran a little bit long with our Cowboys fan there, so we'll try to power through everything the rest of the episode here as Eman whips his Cowboys hat off. Your blood had to be boiling up there. I know you didn't want to do that. You just got a little.
It was almost melted my waves off with that piece of shit.
That had to hurt a little bit. I don't know if I could ever put that back on my head. But all right, this week, as we've been doing, getting into a bit of every team's needs, what their X factors are. This week, we're going to focus on the NFC South. I know it's not the sexiest division, but hey, maybe the Saints are coming up. The Panthers seem to have arrived, and maybe the Buccaneers get on. There might be some excitement divisionally focused from this division next year. So why don't we get into it? The biggest team needs from the NFC South, and let's start with the Carolina Panthers. To kick this one off, a lot of the sentiment I'm seeing online is they need pass rush, and they, for the love of God, need a linebacker. Because if you're an NFL fan, I don't care how much of an NFL fan you are, I would be willing to bet you could not name the starting linebackers on the Carolina Panthers, and here's why. Have you ever heard of Christian Roseboom, Claudin Sherlis, and DJ Wonum? I can't even say his name. But those are their starting linebackers, essentially. And I know they got Chris Barnes in there, former Packer. He had some moments. This linebacking crew sucks. And the sentiment across Panthers fan base is we need a real NFL linebacker, to the extent that they want them using their first-round draft pick on an off-ball linebacker, which I'm normally hesitant about. History says, unless you're getting a cream of the crop beast, no doubt, top 15 pick off-ball linebacker in the first round, anything after that, generally speaking, does not work, does not hit long-term. Very rarely has it if you're using a first-round pick on that position. So I'm a little hesitant there. And that's why I'm going to lead to the Panthers' biggest need this offseason to address first in the draft is a pass rusher, an edge rusher, right? They move off of Brian Burns. And what happens now? They finished this last season 30th in the NFL in sacks per game with 1.7 sacks per game is miserable. And their GM, Dan Morgan, came out and made it very, very clear that improving the pass rush will be their first priority.
Listen, I tell people all the time, I think this new age thing with pass rushing is super overrated. You look at the teams in the Super Bowl now, they don't have a superstar pass rusher. It's all about scheme to me now. So I think you go out there and get more offense to help Bryce Young out because at the end of the game, he had the ball in his hand. He needs more receivers. He needs more playmakers. They could probably use a big-time tight end. So whoever the big-time tight end down in Miami, tight end in Oregon. I've seen a few good tight ends.
Kenyon Sadiq action. Yeah,
so I say go get him some more offense because once again, I think superstar pass rushing is kind of overrated. You never really see any of those teams win Super Bowls. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, it is hard. I mean, you never know what you're going to get even out of a first-round pick. But if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, like Joey said about the Bears, hey, we can get all the interceptions we want, but our pass coverage struggles because these quarterbacks are sitting back for 3-4 seconds with all the time in the world to throw the ball.
But since Lawrence Taylor, who's a pass rusher that got picked in the top 10 who's won a Super Bowl for their team? I'm just saying you can get those in the second and third round to get them by committee because it's going to be hard for you to figure it out, Austin, because, listen, I've sat around for all these guys that they say, oh, they're going to change the defense. Listen, build your team, build offense, and build a whole defense as a collective because if you wasting top 10 picks on the pass rushing, you ain't trying to win no Super Bowl. So,
I mean, I get it. QB is your biggest investment. They're invested in Bryce Young at this point. I don't know where they stand on terms of signing him long-term to a deal. It seems like if he continues his ascent forward that he did this year, even with some steps back, he always ended up at least a net positive forward by the end of the season. If he continues that ascent, they're probably going to bring him back on some type of contract. I like that they got Ted McMillan. That's an amazing start. I love Jalen Coker as my second wide receiver. I think they have pieces at tight end, and they're pretty set with. I mean, Rico Dowdle's still young. I don't know what you do, but Chuba Hubbard at your RB2, they got enough pieces on that offense to where.
Hey, Austin, you love mid, man. You just love mid players. Coker is a bum. I'm being honest.
He's not a bum.
Austin, you love mid. They need to go get them another big-time receiver. And I like McMillan, but he's young. He still needs some time. But come on, Coker's a bum. I'm being honest.
Okay, I will.
Rico Dow and them was okay, but come on, Austin. Come on.
Okay. You can upgrade. You definitely could upgrade from Jalen Coker. You definitely could.
Come on.
But I think, again, if the Panthers are going to take the next step, their best bet is approach. I agree with what the fans are saying. Go get on defense. You cannot have a defense that does not get to the quarterback. You cannot have a group of linebackers that are, generally speaking, useless. What's the point of having Derek Brown in the middle of your defense to help your linebackers be better players if your linebackers all suck and are just like his contributions up in the middle are worthless because you got a bunch of JV level middle linebacker, weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker on your team that aren't contributing to an NFL standard. You got to fix that. Do you fix that in the first round? I don't do that. No. I would wait till round 2 and 3 to do that. It'd be with like a guy like Jacob Rodriguez. Shoot, I think even Anthony Hill, the Texas guy, is probably going round 2, to be honest. There's enough good talent at linebacker this draft from a weak side, middle linebacker group that you can go in second or third round where you should be allocating that first round pick. I mean, when they let Brian Burns out the building, that was the start of, oh shit, well, we really need a pass rusher now. We don't got anything.
How's Brian Burns helped the Giants?
I mean, I get what you're saying, man. Like the defense was not good enough, and Brian Burns was a stud. See, and that's the thing. Brian Burns had a great year with the Giants. Giants defense as a whole was still bad. So I get what your point is. I see what you're saying. All right, let's go over to the Atlanta Falcons here. Falcons obviously doesn't seem quite sure what they're doing at quarterback with Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix. You got a lefty, you got a righty, you got an old guy, you got a semi-old guy who's on a rookie deal. But then outside of that, obviously you got Bijan, you got Kyle Pitts. You gotta give Kyle Pitts whatever money he wants to be on that team long term after the way he ended that season. But outside of receiver, outside of Drake London, Darnell Mooney was supposed to be the number 2, the wide receiver 2. Hasn't really come to fruition in any capacity. And after Darnell Mooney, does that depth chart get ugly? So if I'm sitting here looking at, if I'm like a Falcons fan, and I know a lot of them have called this out, I'm being like, we got to go address the wide receiver depth. We got to go get another big-time playmaker for whoever the hell the quarterback is to throw the ball to. Otherwise, like, oh, man, it's going to be tough just focusing in on Bijan out of the backfield, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London when we already just saw that this last season and the net results of that. You got to go get another playmaker on that offense, it seems. What do you got for them?
They better figure out who under the center. I'm telling you, Austin, they have enough on offense to do it. But if you don't have anybody who can get them people the ball, and listen, I love Kirk Cousins, man. It's something about Kirk Cousins that he could be a teammate of mine, and I would like the guy. But he's just not it. And Michael Penix Jr. is trash. We don't need to see anymore. We've seen enough. You had 3 fucking pro receivers at Washington. That's why you look like you did look. 3 of your receivers were pros.
Early picks, too.
Exactly. So we know it was more of that, but they need a quarterback, Austin. So I don't really know what they do because they're kind of stuck. They've drafted Penix and Kurt, which I think Kurt later in the year started to get back to the Kurt and Minnesota, maybe the Kurt of Washington, but we all know that Kurt is not good enough to take you to the next level. That's why those teams let his ass go. So I think Kirk is the answer. Yeah,
you're not winning a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins, and you're definitely not winning a Super Bowl with Michael Penix. And I'm a big Michael Penix guy, but I agree with you on this one. They messed up majorly, and I think it's why it got jobs cost this offseason is because you just gave Kirk Cousins the bag, and then you immediately draft Michael Penix. I was shocked when the Falcons went and drafted Michael Penix. If you're going to sign Kirk Cousins to big money, the last thing you do is draft the oldest rookie quarterback in the first round.
With two knee issues.
With two knees blown out. He's freaking 26 almost coming into the league. He's only going to be a one-contract guy after his rookie deal. It was just, if you're going to draft a rookie quarterback, draft a guy who's 21, please. If you just sign Kirk Cousins to the bag, like, I was so shocked and pissed off as a Michael Penix fan coming out of Washington when they drafted him. I was like, well, that career is over. He's going to stay as a backup. And by the time you ever start, he's going to be damn near 30, and he's never going to get another contract again because he's going to be like 30, 31 by the time he gets a second contract. So, yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter who you get. I don't know what you do at court. That's why I said a couple episodes ago, whatever they do, lean all the way in, have no questions asked about it, and commit, and then be ready for the results of that commitment. So, I think that's a fair point to go attack quarterback, but shoot, I'm not exactly sold on. I mean, you can have Drake London. Drake London's not a top 5, not a top 7. Shit, you might be able to say Drake London's not a top 10 receiver.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
So
he's not.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't even got a top 10 receiver as your wide receiver 1, and the rest of the fall off is steep fall off.
But now the only thing I say, maybe he's not top 10 because he just haven't had good quarterback play. So I would love to see him with a serviceable guy. But I mean, even not that, I don't know, Austin. I know I'm definitely drafting a quarterback.
But who are you drafting that's coming in and starting? There's no one.
No, I don't think so. But you cannot sit on your hands. That's the one thing that because you may end up getting a Brock Purdy. You may end up with a Tony Romo. You may even end up with a Tom Brady. Not saying anybody's coming out, but if you sit on your hands and you don't take the chance, you never know. So I'm just saying you have to get a quarterback this year in the draft because Penix is not it, and Kirk Cousins is. And like I said, I like Kirk though. He's a cool white dude.
He's a Cole's dad is what he is. He's a Cole's dad. All right, let's go over to the Saints. The Saints seem to be on the climb back up with Tyler Shuck at quarterback, so I'm good with the Saints at quarterback. Now, I'm not exactly good because I think they're going to lose Alontae Taylor as a D-back, and they're stuck with Kool-Aid McKinstry at cornerback and then nothing else really. So I think that's one need, but I'm going to focus on offense because you got Tyler Shuck. You think that's probably your guy now. You know Alvin Kamara's knees are in the dust at this point, and he's done. You got nothing outside of Chris Olave at wide receiver because you moved Shaheed, and you can't really say totally bank that Olave is going to play every game. So for me, this comes down to I like Kendre Miller. I liked him coming out of TCU, but I think you really got to go hit a home run here at running back or receiver in the draft or free agency, whatever you pick. Do you got a preference there, or are those the two positions you're even looking at?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I would kind of shore up some things up front to make sure we're protecting Tyler because I think he is the quarterback of the future. I don't care what nobody say. I think the guy's going to be there and be good. So let's protect him. But I'm with you. We got to get somebody in the backfield, man. I would want somebody kind of Alvin Kamara style who can kind of catch and run and do kind of everything. Yeah, you can never have enough receivers in today's football. I just think in this year's a draft where there's a lot of good guys where you can go get. I'm just always with when you got your franchise quarterback, surround him with weapons, please, because he can be a Sam Darnold if you surround him with an elite guy. Drake May. Well, no, I think Drake May's kind of he's a franchise guy. And he's kind of fell off in the playoff, but I think he's more of the game changer. But when you got a guy that's a game kind of manager, just surround him with talent and a front line and let him go do work. So yeah, I think defense is overrated.
I'm lying. Have you watched this playoffs? This playoffs is proven.
I'm lying. You're good. But to beat these defenses, you better have some elite guys. That's for sure.
I like Nebraska's running back for the Saints a lot. If they go stay I think Emmett Johnson is his name. Nebraska's running back. I think that's a really good fit for what they're trying to do on offense. It seems like, and then wide receiver, there's a ton of options you can go here in the second round, third round, even the first round if you want to go get. I mean, whoever they think is their guy for receiver, there's plenty of options at both, but you got to get some playmakers on that offense outside of Chris Olave. Your backfield is depleted. If you go into next season with Kendre Miller as your RB1, as much as I liked him coming out, it's a bad news. You're setting Tyler Shuck up for failure with this group that they currently have if they keep it the same without adding a bona fide dude to come in and be a playmaker. So,
but the one thing about running back, it shows you can find them in any round. I mean, running back, you can find him in any round. You
get a fourth round guy who can come in and be a stud. But I mean, that's what they kind of like what they try to do with Kendre Miller. And there was hope there, and then he gets injured immediately once he gets a chance. So they might try to run it back with Kendre Miller. I'm not exactly high on that choice, But I think, again, if you think Shuck's the guy, go get him another dude to throw the ball to. Because worst case, Olave gets another concussion. Well, now you got another guy who you see has wide receiver 1 potential. Worst case, you got 2 guys that you see as a wide receiver 1 on your team that hopefully it comes to that. And you got Tyler Shuck, who you believe is your quarterback, and you need to make a most of these years on a rookie deal. Go get another guy there. So let's go over to the Buccaneers and what the Buccaneers need on defense. Now, this one, pretty universally agreed upon the fan base I'm seeing, is they need just a complete defensive overhaul. Levante David, everyone's expecting to retire, be done. Now you don't got a linebacker. Jimmy Dean's on the free agency market. They need an offensive guard they need guards on the offensive side of the ball. They don't got a pass rush. So the fans are saying we need whatever position possible on defense. They were 27th in pass yards allowed per game this last year. So if I'm sitting there as the Buccaneers, I'm probably looking at a cornerback in round 1. I don't know what you're thinking, though.
I'm not lying. Tampa Bay turned into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers real fast because that team is old as hell. They got a whole bunch of me's. Yeah, just a whole bunch of Buccaneers. Because I'm with you. They need somebody everywhere. Their receiving core is getting old. Their linebacking core is getting old. Their D-line is already old. I mean, I like Dean. I like what's the DB son? Goodness grief, his dad played in the league too. Their safety. Anywho,
Winfield.
Yeah, Winfield. I like him. He's a pretty good guy, but I mean, they need somebody everywhere. I just think Mike Evans done. Baker. The only spot they got, Bucky Irvin is young, so
Love him.
I just think they need somebody everywhere. Because, like I said, that might be the oldest team. I wonder who's the oldest team in the NFL. But I'm telling you, listen, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's them. They need a whole new roster.
That's fair. And you could even go they should target receiver early in this draft too. You can't bank on Godwin being healthy. You can't bank on Mike Evans even being back or playing to another 1,000-yard season type. He's old, man, and Godwin is hurt every year. Abuka fell off a cliff. Last half of the no idea what went on. So and I don't think any Buccaneers fans generally have faith in Cade Otton at tight end. So there's an argument you need to go get tight end. Clearly the Buccaneers, man. The fact that they made it halfway through the season as a Super Bowl favorite seems insane when we're looking at it now in January 26th and all the fans are like, we just need an entire new defense. We need another wide receiver. We need a new tight end. It seems like they need a new everything. So, I don't know exactly what you do if you're the Buccaneers, but it seems like there's no shortage of options that fans are clamoring for. But, all right, look, we're pretty much over time right now, so we're going to cut out the X Factors. We're going to go into that next episode. Why don't we bring Joey on for the news desk, because there's a couple things that we just gotta get into before we wrap up here. So, Joey, how we doing, man? What do we got on the news desk for this week?
Hello, gentlemen.
Howdy.
We're doing good. If I sound like I'm dead, it's somehow I got Austin's disease through the restream. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Potent
So
diseases.
I'll try my best.
All right.
To survive the news desk. All right, we got 3 items for you. First up, we're going to Browns land. Jimmy Haslam continues to tank his Browns, overrules a search committee, and hires Todd Monken as the head coach of the Cleveland Brownies. I know we talked to our Browns fan a little while back. He was on team Jim Schwartz, favorite for the role. Didn't happen. Leaves the Browns now. Passed over for Mr. Monken. Myles Garrett posts on Instagram, not too happy with the hire. It's just a funky spot, and I don't know where this team goes where they have half the field of candidates refusing or pulling their name out of interviews. And then now you're in a spot where you have a 60-plus-year-old head coach. And I'm not trying to be ageist here, but with a league going towards younger guys and trying to grow, and I'm sure this guy deserves the job because he's been a pretty good offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of questions here on what the Browns are trying to do and salvaging anything with Shedeur.
You find a way to get Jimmy Haslam the hell off of your organization, no matter what you got to do. Someone's got to dig up the blackmail. Someone's got to dig up the files that's going to cost Jimmy Haslam his job, because you got to get this guy off and out, right? Since he took over in 2012 for the Browns, they're 81-144 with one tie. They only have 2 winning seasons, 0 division titles. They finished 4th place in the division 9 out of 14 seasons, and they've yet to host a playoff game. It's the only stadium in the NFL without one. The head coaching hires around Cleveland have been absolute dog water. Rod Chudzinski, 4-12 with the team. Mike Penton, 10-22. Hugh Jackson, if we all remember that one, 11-44-1. Freddie Kitchens, that fun little stint, 6-10. And then Kevin Stefanski, the longest tenure, 45-56. I mean, the fact that Kevin Stefanski put up that type of record in a Jimmy Haslam team is impressive. But this guy is so hell-bent on being the smartest guy in the room, so bad, that he's done nothing but derail the Browns every time he steps in. Like you said, Joey, like he had a search committee that landed on, I think, Nate Chelsea. What's his name? He's your Bears guy. Nate what?
Nate Shieldhouse, Illinois quarterback.
Yeah, it seems like it was Schwartz or him. And the search committee had kind of landed on, like, it's Schwartz is going to be the guy here. And then Jimmy Haslam steps in and is like, no, Todd Monken actually is going to be our head coach, actually. So do with that what you will. It's so bad. Now, Browns fans are actively hoping the team is so bad that they fail. They don't win a game. Everybody and anybody leaves the franchise. All the players request a trade, so they have nothing else but to do besides blow everything into oblivion and start from scratch. That is where that is where Jimmy Haslam has got this team.
I don't know, Austin. I'm on the other side of this now, and y'all remember me, man. I tell you, I'm batting about 95% of this shit around here. I'm just being honest.
I'm gonna need to see the data on that, but okay.
You can go back. These shows is recorded. I'm trying to tell you, these shows are recorded now, so they can go back and look at it. Who's been in the division and dominating the division the past 5 to 6, 7 years?
Todd Monken and the Ravens.
Who knows how to win in this division? The Ravens. Not only that, I'm telling y'all, I was at the game this year when Baltimore played Cleveland in Cleveland. If you was there, I told y'all when I came back, the room felt when Shedeur came out there, it was different in the air. I can't explain it. I cannot kind of put my hand on it. But for sure, Todd Monken felt the same shit that everybody in the arena, the stadium felt. So to me, I think that was Schwartz is a loser. He's been a fucking loser. Why hire him? He's been a fucking loser.
Their defense is working.
Austin, I keep telling you, man, the shit is overrated when you get them defensive guys. He's been a head coach, and he's been a fucking loser. Don't hire a loser. I'm just telling you, if you want to make that step to taking the division over, not only that, who's motivated more to win that division and make Baltimore look like some shit than the guy that they blame for Lamar and them being bad last year? I'm telling you now, that's what I'm saying. Don't be surprised when coaches and players are motivated to prove they're not as bad as everybody think they are, and maybe y'all should put some blame on them. I'm telling you, Todd Monken, no, I don't think he's a great coach, but something about motivation makes these guys dig, because he's been in the NFL so long because he can coach. And I think now he's not comfortable anymore. You don't have Lamar, so now you really have to get back to what you've been doing to get you to this position. And I'm telling you, he's motivated to show that division. It wasn't me. It's that guy Lamar over there, the reason why they're losing. And I'm going to show y'all, because I've dominated this division for years. Watch. No. Remember.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, Joey, what do we got next?
Keeping on this theme here, even though you felt the Shedeur love in that stadium, Emmanuel Acho is saying, don't listen to Todd Monken if you're Shedeur Sanders. Do your own thing here. This guy's not the right coach for you. And the Browns are stuck in more turmoil. So clearly, I don't know, how much weight Acho has is to be debated. But in this case, it's like he's already telling the quarterback, don't listen to your new coach, and now you got the fans divided between the QB and new coach. How do we figure this out if you're Cleveland, and do we care what Emmanuel Acho thinks?
No, Shedeur doesn't either. He's clearly trying to get back on Prime's fucking nut sacks again, because I remember him talking shit about Shedeur. I'm telling you, he used to be like super like opinionated on him when he was at Colorado, and even when he started, man, Acho's an idiot. He don't know what he's talking about. And the fact that you played in the NFL or you play football, period, to tell any player not to listen to their coach is just, I mean, blasphemy to me, because I don't care. If you're an NFL coach, apparently you know something, and a rookie quarterback knows nothing. So if whoever he brings in, you should listen and see if you can get anything good out of that. Acho's an asshole and an idiot. Nobody's listening to you, guy.
Yeah.
Trust me, nobody.
I was going to say, any fans Acho has left are quickly dwindling away, because the more this dude opens his mouth, the dumber this shit gets, man. I can't believe like he's got any staff and around him that can keep the cameras running with the shit that comes out of his mouth. I mean, Todd Monken's been coaching at a high level since 1989. You don't got to like the guy, but to say like, hey, QB1, you shouldn't listen to a word this dude says. You should ignore your coach, your head coach, who's been a high-level coach since 1989. Brother, for some, and I haven't played a snap in the NFL. I haven't even come near that type of level of talent either. So I'm not sitting here trying to bash Acho for being an NFL player. But, dog, you made it 20 tackles in the NFL. I would think you have CTE with the things that come out of your head, but it's impossible given the fact that you barely step foot on the field. So the fact that he's saying these things and saying, hey, I know you're a second-year quarterback now. Ignore everything you're told. How are you giving that message to a young NFL quarterback who needs every bit of coaching and teaching he can get from anybody he can get it from who's a long-tenured NFL coach, especially on the offensive side of the ball? So it's just like, I kind of
two-time MVP, Austin. Just make sure you start saying that too.
Beautiful.
Two-time MVP.
Perfect. Who was with Lamar when Lamar was an MVP? It was Todd Monken. Say what you will about the way he calls offense and whatnot. The way I think about Emmanuel Acho at this point, he's Jim Cramer. If everybody knows Jim Cramer, the stocks guy. Whatever Acho says, believe the opposite, because the opposite is true than what Acho says. The guy's an absolute asshat. The more he talks, the more he tarnishes his brand, and the more or less people just refuse to believe a word that's coming out of his mouth. He's the new Skip Bayless. We laugh at you when you talk, bro. You are useless to the sports media world.
Oh, that's you. I ain't
useless.
lying, Austin. But you being nice to call him the new Skip Bayless. Nobody's looking at that fucking show. They look at least Skip Bayless was number one.
Yeah,
nobody's listening to that shit. What is it called? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what his show is called. We're all
shit.
better off not knowing what his show is called. Useless to the sports media world with whatever you call that comes out of his mouth. Dumbest shit I ever heard. What's next?
And I'm gonna get mad. Hold on, before I go, I didn't play in the NFL, but he couldn't if you gave me a screen to the right or a slip, a bang 8 or whatever, he couldn't tackle me. Acho's not that good. I'm being honest. I would make him look silly. Hey, I swear to God, I would.
He's another example of just because you played in the NFL doesn't mean you know better than people who didn't play in the NFL. You're a prime example of that. I can't think of a player who's played in the NFL and then proceeded to have a broadcast or a show with worse takes that make less sense than whatever the hell Acho is doing. Thank God we got him off of national television. Thank God.
Thank Joy Taylor for being a.
Oh, hey! No, what if there's one thing Emmanuel Acho might have done right in his career? It's
you think,
bro? Iman,
have you seen her body? No, her body's terrible,
bro. No,
Ted. Yes, she's pretty. I give her that, but her body's terrible.
I'm gonna have Jason Taylor come in here and beat your ass for saying that now. No way. I never thought I'd hear those words out of you about Joy Taylor.
Have you looked at her workout videos, Austin? I mean, and listen. Okay. I'm not sure if you looked at my girlfriend's IG anytime soon. If you go Jessica Beard, she's listen, no, she's blue check and all. Go look at her pictures of her body in a track uniform and come back and tell me I think the fuck Joy Taylor's body looked like is a good body.
I feel like I know the video you're talking about. And there was one that took the internet by
terrible. 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 So, I mean,
she
I
looks-
just know what I look at every day. So, I don't know.
I don't like listening to her either. I think her commentary is also useless. I don't care if, I mean, yeah, women in sports, like, great. I don't care who you are or what you are. Like, great, do your thing. If you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad. She adds enough useless commentary herself. That's like, great. Producers gave you notes. We get it. You didn't do shit else for research to understand anything you're talking about. One of those type of people. Acho is like even worse. All right, I'm going to get hot. I can't. There's so many talented people out there trying to do something good for sports media. It pisses me off when we got folks like Acho out here claiming airwaves because he's useless and he's detrimental to narratives and talking about sports when there's real people, young people, hungry people doing things to make their name. And you got guys like this catching all the attention because he played in, he had a platform, for some reason was given a platform and still gets aired when he's more useless than the fucking bugs we absolutely accidentally step on because we don't even know they exist under our feet.
Austin, you might run into him. Austin, you got to be.
Good,
listen,
bet.
I got your back because I'm really like that with these. I'm really like that. But hey, he ain't a small guy though, Austin.
I don't give a shit how big or small you are, bro. Step up to the podium. I'll get on a debate stage with Acho all day, any day long. Don't even get.
No, I'm saying he might want to fight Austin.
Good for him. How'd that work out for Mark Sanchez?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hit me, I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah, how'd it work out for Mark Sanchez?
I'm never coaching or working in the high school again. You hit this pretty face, and trust me, I can get down. But you hit me, and you a millionaire. I'm never working again.
Man, step up, Acho. I'll knock the mascara off your face, bro. All right, what's next?
Last one on the list for us. I know we talked about it to start the show, but wanted to go a little more in depth on this Bill Belichick stuff. Snubbed on the first ballot Hall of Fame vote. You know, I know he's got controversy, but man, if he can't get on that first ballot, I don't know who can. And I feel like the voters are treating him like a steroid user. Is Spygate? Is it Jordan Hudson? Is it some reason here? But I know there's some odd rules now where, you know, the voting procedure didn't really work in his favor this time around versus probably people voting against him. But it is still odd because no matter what, he's like a surefire guy. Like there's no question with how many Super Bowls he has.
Yeah. Put it simply, if Bill Belichick, like we said earlier, if Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, then no coach in the world deserves to be. Because if you think about it, Joe Gibbs and Don Shula, both Hall of Fame, first-year Hall of Fame inductees, combined they won 5 Super Bowls. Bill Belichick has 6 won by himself. Bill Polian is leading this whole thing. Bill Polian is out for blood on people and things that he doesn't like. He cries all the time like a little baby back, sorry-ass bitch. Sorry for my language. But Bill Polian just cost the first or second best coach the league has ever seen from a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, from being a first ballot Hall of Famer. And the reasons he could possibly think of are unjustifiable because, again, if you think of Bill Belichick versus every first ballot Hall of Fame coach, Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, only Don Shula has more regular season wins than Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick has 31 playoff wins. The next closest from a first ballot Hall of Fame coach is 20 playoff wins from Tom Landry. The next closest from Super Bowl wins from that group is Chuck Noll with 4 Super Bowls. Bill Belichick has 6. I literally, in my brain, and I ain't even that smart, cannot fathom or understand any reason, Spygate, Deflategate, I don't give a shit, any reason why Bill Belichick, again, there's no defending this one. It's indefensible how Belichick does not make a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. Indefensible. And Bill Polian is rightfully, as the leader of this whole thing, whatever it is, rightfully catching all the flack in the world for this happening. It's pathetic. It's an absolute disgrace to make him have to wait a year. I can't think of a reason. Can any of y'all? Can y'all?
People the media probably just don't like him because he's never been a media darling. He's never been a guy that anybody who loved to get at the podium and good. He was always just kind of bland and kind of gave him shit. So I can see them not liking him, but just to me, you can't be in media if you just hold that against him. He's the greatest. I mean, and you got to be honest. Bill Parcells is in the Hall of Fame. Go back to them Giant teams. He wouldn't have won if it was not for Bill Belichick. Everybody said it. Those defenses that he was the coordinator for. Y'all got to think, Buddy Ryan with the 4-6 Bear changed defense in the whole, but Bill Belichick changed defense in the whole when he started to show teams how to take people out of games, and this is how you win games when you take the best play. Like we talked about it with a guy you had that like the Rams, that greatest show on turf. I've never seen a coaching job, I mean, to the T like that ever in my life, to take a team that talented out. So, I mean, I just think it's a travesty because I think coaches don't get enough credit for who they are, and to take that away from him, it's heartbreaking to me. But once again, I don't think he cares. I'm telling you, he goes home to a beautiful young girl, to probably a huge house. He has all the money in the world. And that's another guy. He's so prideful. He's coming back to the NFL in a couple of years because I think he needs 17 wins to be the greatest winning coach of all time in the NFL. So I think he's going to come back to the NFL, get that, and say, fuck the Hall of Fame. I'm Mr. Championship.
All eight fingers got rings on them for Bill. Like
it's sad. It's sad though, man. That's sad though. That's sad. I felt bad for him. Like, damn. Who else needs to go in the Hall first ballot? If he doesn't go, I mean, what player, what coaches on the first ballot should go in now? I'm just thinking nobody should go in on the first round, first ballot anymore. So. Exactly.
Again, Super Bowls are the standard. And you are, for some agenda, Bill Polian, leaving out the guy with the most in NFL history. It's inexcusable. I don't know, Joey. You got a reason why he could possibly be off? I don't know. Maybe you caught something we're missing here.
No, unless you know how like in baseball when they don't vote people in out of spite and they make them wait. Like that's what I feel like this is. I think he's just so unlikable and probably not liked around the league and the writers and the voters that they just kind of gave him a big FU and are like, you got to wait. He'll get in, of course.
Then you shouldn't be a voter.
It's petty. I agree. Well, right. Then a lot of these voters have votes for 40 years and haven't covered the game since it was in black and white. So it's goofy.
100%. If you can't leave ego aside when you're voting in the league that you're supposed to represent for the biggest, like, prestigious honor of them all, if you can't leave ego aside and the off the field shit aside, then you shouldn't be voting. You clearly are not an adequate voter or someone respond. I got hot at the end of this episode. Say
it with your chest. I want the people to come out and say, I was one of the ones who didn't vote for him because he's an asshole. I don't fuck with him. He's a cheater or whatever you got on him that we don't know. Maybe we don't know some shit. But come out and say it with your chest like, hey, fuck y'all. I was the one who didn't vote for him.
Yeah, Napoleon declined to comment. You are a coward, tail-tucking coward.
Well, he still thinks Lamar Jackson should be a running back, so I don't give him any credit.
You remember that?
That's
Joe.
crazy.
Grief.
Yeah, it's just absolutely pathetic. But let's end the episode there. We've run very long, so if you're still here with us, thank you so much for hanging along with us this whole time. Had a long Cowboys interaction. Per usual, we'll see you next Tuesday. Hope everybody has a great week. Until then, we will see you.